प्ययन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमेन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs and the life force become efficient and fully powerful. All is verily the one without second, absolute, all-pervading, blissful and conscious existence itself. Let me try to feel this oneness of the blissful consciousness, absolute existence. Let me never deny this truth. May this truth never reject me either. May all the virtues needed for experiencing this truth and which are proclaimed by the scriptures be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel the oneness of the true substance in all apparently infinitely many forms. Think of the snow around, different heaps, different shapes. Some very tiny, some very big. the temperature rises, one can see that the shapes, the sizes change. All are melting. If the temperatures continue to rise, all the differences we can see are dissolved or melted in water. No more differences seen. Actually, even before getting melt, they were same. The distinctions were only superficial and transitory. So also let us feel all the different forms, shapes, and the names associated with everything that we see. They are transitory. They change. The reality, the one all-pervading divine existence alone is real. It is H2O. Whether you see as ice or snow or water or steam, so also all different forms, they are intrinsically the one divine, all-pervading existence. As one sees that, all desires disappear. It is all peace and bliss eternal. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us begin today's discussion on this great scripture which is full of knowledge, devotion, and the spiritual wisdom, the science of meditation, the procedures for that, and appreciating the one amongst many is thoroughly discussed in this through various illuminating wonderful stories. So, uh, let us begin at the beginning, that is, let us recite this opening chant, which actually is the first verse of this great treatise. So recite as loudly as you can. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. As we see, this truth supreme is that everything is one without second, absolute, ever blissful, ever perfect existence, consciousness itself. So this truth, if we experience this truth, there is no need for the study of scriptures. Because we have experienced that truth, that's it. The goal is already achieved. Just as when you reach the destination while driving, you say put on the GPS and it keeps on telling you after 3 miles take an exit there, then take the right and then continue and then take the left, and then when you reach the place, it is told, well, you have arrived. Now, you don't need to drive further. You just get out of the car and that's about it. So, similarly, the scriptures help us like GPS helps us along the journey to the truth. Scriptures help us on that journey. So, and once you get there, there is no ignorance, and all products of ignorance, including or mainly speaking this I, the ego, it disappears. And then you don't need to study these scriptures. Your words then become scriptures. So it is in this is the story. And we were seeing that how the demons, if you see the title of this part, that it is the demons, asuras, attains liberations. And there is a grammatical attaining liberation, yeah. Demons, asuras attaining liberation. They also attain liberation. Because what is an asura or demon? The one who identifies with body. One who has no other awareness of oneself but the body. And thus what happens? See, the psychology of demonic behavior needs to be understood. That when I am this particular body, then that imperfection that I see, that I see all other bodies, and that propels a person to appropriate everything to oneself. Kill others, control others, enjoy everything around, treating them as objects of enjoyment. How does this happen? Because of seeing the difference, considering oneself as body. Now it is impossible to remove this without getting knowledge. Ordinarily a human being has the body consciousness, but also deep within there is some awareness, some little flame burning, that there is a truth superior that encompasses everything. That is why there is religion amongst human beings. That there is no human society, even in the historical times, without some kind of religion, some kind of belief in something beyond this appearance. It is so. It may be very little or big, and depending on that, one's behavior changes. Why there is so much difference between the behavior of different people? It is, yeah, if you see hundreds of people, everybody will have a peculiar way of behavior. Behaving changes. One behaves this way, another behaves this way, and then if you can see a pattern, you call that is the character of that person. That the character means if a particular situation confronts a person, all people will not respond to that situation in exactly the same way. There will be difference in response. The situation is same, but then the reaction, the response will vary. Because everybody is different and differently aware of one's identity. Who am I and what the world is? There is this difference, and according to that difference, you will see how their response is. Like if you can go take it further, forget just human beings, all different creatures. That if some rotten piece of food is there, human beings will just put it in garbage, will not go to eat it. Their mouths will not water looking at it. But now, if there is an insect which survives on that, its mouth will start watering. I don't know what process insects have, but yeah, and then it will pounce on it. The reactions will be different. Even among human beings, when you see something, the reactions are not exactly same. Let me tell you an incident. In northeast India, the tribal region is there. And then there we have some Ramakrishna mission schools there to impart education to that tribal belt. So in one of those schools, there was a little girl, and then our Swami was just passing through that, just supervising things, and she showed him that, look, there is a big snake on the tree there. And the Swami naturally warned her, don't go close, it may bite you. And the girl was not looking at it from that angle at all. That girl was looking at it as food. Because she said, just yesterday my brother killed one like that and we ate it. So that Swami's awareness or the response of looking at this snake was completely different from this girl's response. It was food. It is, and this Swami was looking at it in a different way. So everybody does not respond to the situation in the same way. The idea is that. Now, what is a demon? Is devoid of the awareness of the intrinsic substance that pervades everything, and thus wants to aggrandize all that ego and the desires that come with it, goes headlong into that without caring for any other being. There is no mercy there. It is because all these objects are for my enjoyment. So there is no other feeling there. So that makes a person demon. They completely, if the feeling of the oneness is gone, that to the extent that is gone, a person becomes demon. So it is, may not act aggressively because it may not actually, it may put that person's own existence in danger. And so strategically goes about it. But the idea is same. There is no thought other than aggrandizement of this body. That is a demon. And so is all attention is living long life with full of physical enjoyments around and rulership of everything. So this Hiranyakashipu, whose story we are continuing with, Hiranyakashipu and his son Prahlad, a completely, reverse picture of Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu, he performed tremendous austerities to propitiate Brahma. Now these demons also perform austerities, maybe more than a saintly person, a sage will perform, but for a very different reason. It is the reason for these austerities is to gain more power. So he got uh, Brahma to come down to tell him, "Oh, stop these austerities, what do you want?" And he practically asked for immortality and invincibility by asking that nobody will be able to know, human being or animal or a heavenly creature, heavenly being will be able to face me in battle. Also, nobody can kill me during the day, during the night, on earth or in skies or in water. I cannot be killed during the day or during the night. I cannot be killed by a weapon or by a missile. The Sanskrit word for that is shastra, means a weapon, and astra means a missile. So, uh, none of them should be able to hurt me. So he thought that that's it. Now there is no possibility of anything killing him. Because the Brahma said, immortality is not in my power. All those who are born have to die. I cannot grant you that. So he asked this variation that, okay, if I have to die, then under these conditions, nobody can kill me on earth or water, no animal or human being or any such creature, nothing, not even on the day, not during the night, not by weapon, not by missile, and so forth. So was fully secured and had tremendous power. And then he conquered everyone and then became the ruler of the three world and was has appropriated everything to himself, thinking that I am the body, and then enslaving everything around. So this is how his life was. And he proclaimed, nobody in my kingdom should worship any god. I am the only God to be worshipped. So there is no God. So this is the life of the demon. But the truth remains there. Howsoever you may deny, the truth cannot be thrown out of existence. Truth is there. It is there. So it somehow or other manifests. And then when it manifests, when that demon sees it, then that demon gets liberated. And we saw that how the previous lives of these demons were, that they uh, at the door of Lord Vishnu as the doorkeepers. And then because of some wrong thing they did, they were told you will have to take 3 births as demons. Then you will, every birth you will be killed by God, appearing as a killer being for you, and then you will get liberated. So this is how this Hiranyakashipu, most powerful being, he ascended to the sphere of Indra. The king of the demigods, virtuous people, and snatch everything, kick them out of there. He could do anything, there was no power over him. But then, some other power that he had no control over was getting in there. But one of his four sons, Prahlada by name, was a born devotee of God. Mm. So it was devotee of God, born of the demon. So there is no such thing that the genetic transmission will have to happen. It is the nature of this boy was just that of a devotee. He sees that God alone is the reality. What can you do? So, one of his sons, therefore, was of this type. So, it is that he had this kind of son, but he saw that this son needs to be properly trained, that he has some bent of mind towards God, and what the loving parents, when they see that the child has some difficulty, and they see that some training program, some correction can be applied to make the child a good, sane child, very well behaved child. Now, the definition of well behaved for this demon was well, he should become like him. And that is how we superimpose the ideas of good, our own ideas of good, upon others. Those who follow my ideas are considered good. If somebody says, no, your ideas are bad, oh, you fellow is bad, then it is, you cannot accept that. So Hiranyakashipu saw that it is prior to that, how this child was born, it was because of the prayer of all these celestial beings. They approached the Supreme Being, the Vishnu. And the Vishnu, its etymology is interesting. Vishli Vyaptatvat iti Vishnu, the all-pervading reality who is in everything. Its name is Vishnu. So they approached this, and then he assured them that soon you will see that the reign of this demon will end. I am going to take appropriate measures for that. Having thus assured, they went away. But this is a procedure that takes time. So Prahlada was born with that. And thus, this Prahlada was a devotee. So what can be done? He had all these great virtues. So it is described here. He was devoted to the holy and learned, exemplary in his conduct, truthful, and having mastery over the senses. He was as dear to all beings as their own selves, and everyone found in him their close friend. He attended on wise and holy men like a servant. He was living, he was loving to the poor and the afflicted like a parent. To his equal, he was like a brother, and he viewed his teachers as God himself. So, uh, though endowed with learning, wealth, beauty, noble birth, etc., none of these swelled his ego or filled him with pride. And this is the description of this boy, Prahlada. So, then further, apart from these virtues, there are spiritual virtues. Being intensely aware of the transitoriness and hollowness of all enjoyments, Prahlada could remain unmoved in difficulties, free from the desires for any attainment in this world or the next, devoid of sexual desires and established in the control of senses. So that is how his life was. And looking at this, the uh, his father said, something needs to be done. What appears to be virtues, from the angle of the demon, they were not that. So he therefore decided to send him to the proper demon teachers, a demon school, to get trained in the ways of the demons. So that is how the story proceeds. Let me remind you, this is a story, the dialogue between originally the Shuka, this says Shuka and King Parikshit. And then Shuka then makes reference to this story, this discussion between Narada and Yudhishthira. So Narada is telling this story to the king Yudhishthira at that Rajasuya sacrifice. So where the third birth of these demons was going to be finished, and they would attain the final liberation. That was Shishupala's death. So, and everybody saw Shishupala getting merged in the body of Krishna. And so Yudhishthira has this question. Uh, Even those who, with great devotion, uh, aspire for this union with God, they too find it difficult. How this demon got it? And so this story is being told that the demons also are pervaded with the truth. God is in everyone. You can never get away from this truth. Sometimes you get upset and angry, and then you have some other ideas. Okay, maybe in everyone, but not in that fellow. One lady was telling me, I can accept God in everyone, but not in my mother-in-law. So it is that everyone, other person is okay, but she tortures me so much. And she finds fault with everything that I do. Just bullies me now and then. I cannot see God in that person. Whether you can see or not, that is your problem. The God is actually in everything. If it is not in something, then it is not anywhere in anything. It is so, this all-pervasive divine principle manifests So Yudhishthira asked that this is strange, that such a good, nice child, and why Hiranyakashipu wanted to destroy his own son? We shall continue to read that it is Narada said, the demons they had, their teacher, that Shukracharya, and his two sons were, especially the Shukracharya's two sons, were the teachers for the young ones. They were running a school for them. And so Hiranyakashipu sent Prahlada to get properly trained in the demon doctrine. It is so he one day the Asura king took his son on his lap, and then after they were sent to the school, the demon that teachers were told, train him properly. And then just to see how much they are trained, and to check the progress of his son, let me see what he has learned. And like the parents ask some their little ones, hey, what did you study in the school? Oh, the kindergarten, our teacher taught us a song. Oh, you were taught a song, come on, sing. Itsy Witsy Spider, and all that will be then chanted. Okay, very good, my lad, wonderful. So this Hiranyakashipu took this little Prahlada on his lap and asked him that, okay, it is whatever the teachers taught, tell me. So one day the Asura king took his son on his lap and asked him, "Oh dear one, tell me what you consider to be the true and good." And Prahlada said, imagine now, this is trained in the demon school. And what he started telling his dad, "O Lord of the Asuras," means demons, the Lord of the demons, all embodied beings are overpowered by body consciousness and are consequently subject to sorrow and suffering. So it is that the purpose, he said, of an individual is to abandon worldly life and try to get rid of this false identification with the body and take refuge in God alone. That is this, that it is, he says that when you engage in worldly life, that causes spiritual downfall. You get embroiled into what Sri Ramakrishna used to call I and mine. If this body is I, naturally other things become mine. My parents, my siblings, my job, my learning, and so forth. And as an antidote, therefore, as the Hindu children are taught, that chant this. I used to chant it every day, but just was chanting without understanding much meaning of it. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. That God, thou alone, are my father and my mother. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva. You are the sibling and friend. You are my learning, tvameva vidya. You are my wealth, dravinam tvameva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. You are my everything. So, this is how a person should understand and pray. Nothing is mine here. The demonic behavior means this is mine, and there is no end to it. That is why one gets bound by it. When you say something is mine, that becomes your bondage, my bondage. Do you like this idea, Ishani? Bondage, my bondage. It is so. The more things you say mine, more becomes your bondage. So one should not do that and consider that all-pervading divine. That is the only mine being in my heart, in everybody. That is the only thing that should be considered as mine. So the connection is to be made with God. Let them therefore abandon that kind of worldly life and resort to some sequestered forest where they could take complete shelter in Sri Hari, the God. Take them that. And what is that God? Destroyer of all the sufferings of life. Because I and mine is the suffering. Freedom from that is the end of suffering. Simple, isn't it? What? Tushar, isn't it simple? Yeah, that I and mine is suffering. Get rid of that is freedom from suffering, and your intrinsic joy then manifests. So this is the way to be happy. It is, one can be happy only in this way, not by any other thing in life. Other things, they are going to pile more bondage, that's all. So one should see this, that everything when connected to God, then that becomes a liberating force. Otherwise it is perpetuation of bondage and consequent suffering. So when Prahlada gave this answer, then what happened? They Hiranyakashipu, he that laughed at first, thinking that the boy's mind has been perverted by some the persuasions of some undesirable person. That is what, out of love, parents think that the child went into some bad company. My child, how can it be so bad, you know? So there must be some bad influence on the child. So he called and warned the teachers that, you see, this should not work, this should not continue like this, that it is called the teachers. Their names were Sanda and Amarka. So that see that no person who is a devotee should be anywhere near him. And now that was very close to Prahlad, actually, right within his heart. So how could you ward that off? Somebody from outside, you can say, hey, don't. But then Prahlada was a devotee himself. And as we shall see, may not be in today's class, but in the next class, that he started influencing the other children. So, it is And then when again this happened, and the teachers were threatened by Hiranyakashipu that you are not, you are teaching my boy some such stuff. And then the teachers requested Prahlada, oh, our job is on anvil. Not only job, our life is endangered. So please tell your father that the truth, that we did not teach these things to you. And the kind-hearted Prahlada immediately agreed. So Prahlada said, it is the working of whose yoga maya get the ignorance born distinction between oneself and another. Ignorance gives the distinction I and you. Like we see in uh, this pile of snow different from that pile of snow, and not considering that intrinsically they are all water, only the same substance. So we see this person is different than that person, and this differentiation creates all this bondage. And so they discontinued this when he told this to teacher that this is my understanding, although you didn't teach this to me. So, so Hiranyakashipu, when examined the child again, that now he wanted to get the examination again and again, because first examination the child had failed, and so he has told to apply corrective measures and see how the corrective measure works. So like you take the blood pressure, if the blood pressure is very high, the doctor may give you some medication and then tell, oh, come and check again and again. Because who knows whether that medicine is working or not. You have to keep a track of it. So he wanted to see what effect now this my son had. He hoped that the teachers must have removed all these terrible superstitions from my child's mind. So it is some time after, when the teacher was sure that the boy had mastered the 4 divisions of diplomacy. Because that is what they were teaching. Diplomacy means how to be clever in the world. It is how to overpower the other people. So there are the 4 things told in the ancient Indian Indian books on the rulership, how a king should rule, divide, and all that. So it is different ways. Don't antagonize right in the beginning. You want supporters, not antagonizers. So first explain it to them. If they don't agree to you, give them some bribe. Try to give them bribe. Sama, dama. Give them, oh, see, if you follow what I am telling, you will get this benefit. In my kingdom, I will make you, say, the collector of taxes, and so forth. I will make you the chief of police and all that. Or I will give you a very big position. So, Sama means first explain. If that doesn't work, then Dama. If that also doesn't work, then the third thing, Bheda. This is translated here as that it is uh, internal dissension. If you don't do this, this will happen. Then I will have to subject you to certain problems. Not only that, I will, that your enemy, I will make your enemy the police chief. If you don't follow my advice, then I don't want, but unfortunately, I will have to, I'm sorry to say, but will have to take some measures to subdue you. So that is called bhed. If you do, you will get this. If you don't do, see what you will get. And then fourth, even if that person, even with this, is not amenable, then the last called danda. That is, then attack and forcibly do the things. Force is considered the last thing to be used. As a diplomacy, if you want to really rule properly, the force is the last thing to be applied. First try with the soothing words, try to use just words. Well, we are friends, isn't it? It is, why don't you help me? Please, don't say this, don't try to be inimical to me. Let us, that for good formula, live and let live. And so like that, you are okay, I am okay, you are okay, that kind of philosophy. There used to be a book, very popular book, I am okay, you are okay. So let us be all okay. If that doesn't work, then give some, subsidy. The word here used is subsidy. Okay, give some bribing, give some promises, and so forth to bring that fellow to abandon that antagonism. If that doesn't, then give a warning. Sorry that I have to tell you this. If you don't do this, then this will happen to you. If that also doesn't work, then apply force. So all these were taught by the teachers and told, now you can tell these things to your dad. So now as Asura took the boy who prostrated himself at his feet, embraced him for long. This Asura means his father. He now took him again very close and caressed him, and then sitting the boy on his lap, kissing him on the crown of the head, and with great affection. "O Prahlada, dear boy, may you be long-lived. You please tell me about the best lessons from the vast body of instructions you must have been receiving from your teachers." And Prahlada told the same thing, that hearing about Vishnu, according to him, what is the purpose, that hearing about Vishnu, singing about him, remembering him, serving him, worshipping him, saluting him, being his servant, being his comrade, and surrendering oneself and everything that is one's own to him. These are the 9 aspects of bhakti or God love. In Bhagavata previously also we studied these 9 ways in which the devotion, the love for God manifests. So, if a man could be trained to practice devotion characterized by these 9 features, that indeed would be the highest education he could have. That is what I have understood. Now imagine what would be the reaction of this demon, this Hiranyakashipu. He became red with anger. The face was spewing, as it were, venom. Uh, as This is just a very mild depiction. They actually, you could have seen, imagined much better than this, that terrible anger against this child. And then uh, he, Hiranyakashipu said, "You unworthy," he said to his teachers, those teachers who were training, "You unworthy and perverse teacher, how is it that taking the side of enemy, you have totally discarded me and put absurd ideas into my boy's head?" All the blame was put on, because my son, how can that my son be bad? It is all your fault. That is, so they they said that what your son is saying has not been taught to him by me or anyone else. This bent of his mind, O king, is natural to him. Please be good enough to control your anger and not to charge us with this offense. So we shall continue to read it in our next Friday's class, because now it is already 8:28. The story is charming, no doubt, but we should wait now to proceed further till next Friday, and we shall recite this concluding verse. And after that, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. This happens to be the third verse of this great scripture. Nigamakkalpatarurgalitam phalam shukamukhad amritadrava पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्हो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any question? Any question here? No question. Here they seem to have understood everything. There is no question there. Those web listeners are also not far behind. They have also understood everything correctly this time. So no question. So let us conclude with the closing chant. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल. कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol.
There is one question.
Oh, there is one question.
Yes.
Okay, come on, shoot.
Okay.
Ah.
Question from Taraswin.
Taraswin, okay, Taraswin, come on.
Pranam.
Pranam, pranam.
Are we helpless victims of hypnosis of Lord's Yogamaya, or do we willingly walk into her trap?
Oh, it is difficult to say. We are certainly victims of Maya, but the Maya has two aspects, as Sri Ramakrishna said. One is putting you in bondage and then liberating you. In the absolute sense, we are uh, tied into Maya. But this Maya, other part of it, that is called the Vidya Maya, the liberating aspect. Now it is up to us. Now there is the conscience in us, right and wrong, the feeling of right and wrong, whether we are doing right or not doing right. That now needs to be held on to, and one must see how one can get out of it. If one doesn't do that, then now it is the secondary aspect of Maya takes place, we get more and more entangled. The first thing, yes, we were the helpless victims. But then, as human beings, we have this also with us. Now try to get liberated. Try to take recourse to that and get over that. That power also has been given to us. So use that power. That is where we discussed couple of Sundays ago that very beautiful idea that there are two paths available to us. Choosing from the two paths, the path of like and dislike and the path of right and wrong. So choose the path of what is right over what is liked. So that is how we will get gradually liberated from this Maya. In truth, there is no freedom, no bondage. Because there is no bondage, there is no idea of freedom possible. If you are bound, then only you can have liberation. Otherwise, you are free, ever free. So, therefore, when you feel that you are bound, then you need to put in the efforts to become free. As soon as one feels that there is bondage, and unfortunately, most people don't feel that as bondage. They feel, wow, it is so good. I am rolling in happiness. This is the world. I am so highly educated. I am a PhD at Brown, or I have got such wonderful job. And I get so much respect from people. And look, the bright future is awaiting me, and so forth. That is what a common person will not see it as bondage. There is a very beautiful hymn in that Buddha's teachings, Dhaniya Sutta. It is Dhaniya Sutta. There was a day when it was very stormy and rainy. Buddha was walking, and then because to protect from that torrential rains and winds, he stood near the wall of a wealthy shepherd. Shepherd and farmer, he was both. So at that house, Dhania, his name, the one who was that farmer, he started taunting him. I have this freshly renovated strong house. Everything is well stored. And so rains you can lash as much as you want. Buddha said in reply that my senses are controlled, my character is strongly built. So rains you can lash as much as you want. That farmer Dhania again says there, I have all the corn and the grains and my animals, everything is all very nicely stored. Nothing is going to get affected by these rains. So rain you can continue to lash as much as you want. Buddha said that my mind is restrained, I have no evil thoughts, and it is established in nirvana. So therefore keep on lashing as much as you want to. So, and then listening to this Buddha's teachings in this way, the farmer opens the door as the rains were lashing and prostrated before Buddha, who was drenched in these rains, but was supremely calm and unperturbed. So we have Tharaswin these ideals also. Now what do we want to follow? That is what Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Vidya Maya. That power of delusion that takes you to freedom. The power of delusion that entangles you further and further in the bondage, that is different. So that is where we have to make a choice. That is why human beings have this capability to make a choice. Animals other than human beings don't have that choice. A dog may, if you put two types of food, it will make a choice between the two, but will not make a choice between food and no food. There is no such thing as making a choice there. It is so because there is no purpose that they conscientiously understand. It is just to live, that is the idea. Human beings get the question why to live, and there is the scope now to follow the right path and get rid of this helpless victim of the Maya, and then you will be liberated. The Maya will itself be very helpful to you to show the right path. So that is how the progress will take place. Thank you. So let us now conclude the class here. The singing has been done before, so no need to repeat it.